Hey everybody and welcome to Let's Look at Descenders. This is a game from, I mean, you don't even need to know what the game's about in verbiage, because what's really going to happen is I'm just going to, you know, like, do this right here, and you can kind of figure it out for yourself. There are a few little quirks I'll tell you about, but basically you probably got the gist of it right here. It is a mountain biking game from Rage Squid, who were also the makers of the game Action Henk, which probably came out like 2014, I want to say. Oh, be careful. Watch out for that tree. What's unique about this game, I mean, first off, there's not a lot of games that focus on biking. There's not a lot of games, it seems, that focus on, like, extreme sports to begin with, and most of them are not independent games. And it's weird, because I feel like that's kind of like, I don't want to say they should be picking up the slack, like I should be telling them, you know, what their time is best spent on, but, you know, as AAA developers have kind of abandoned that side of things, you'd think that maybe there'd be more of them coming out from the indie scene, but that's just my own little personal musing on it. But beyond this, very few biking games. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is like Downhill Domination, which came out in the PS2 era, maybe like 2003, 2004 or something like that. And beyond that, you're going to think I'm losing my mind. You're going to say, NL, you've gone loco. It's not true. It's a roguelike. Sort of. It's a roguelite, if you want to be a stickler. I saw them on Twitter. They were saying we should have called it a rogue bike. And I'm like, that's good. That's very clever wordplay. But really, like, if you look in the top left there, that's my HP. And if we bail, we lose HP. If you look in the top right, I have a goal. And if I am able to fulfill that goal and succeed that goal, or, you know, complete that goal, I'll get 1 extra HP. Whenever I bail, I lose HP, and our goal is to get as far as we can throughout the game. We'll get extra rep and bonus points and stuff like that, and be able to use that to... I don't know if we can actually upgrade our person, or if we just get new gear and stuff like that, but anyway, that's enough of a preamble for now. This is Descenders. It's 28 Canadian dollars, 25 American, I'm assuming. I am playing a review copy. It's a little bit of a steep price, I'll admit. It's in early access right now. But it really does bring kind of like III or AA production value. I don't have any music on because I'm worried about getting content ID matched. But basically, so it's almost like FTL. I'm going to use my mouse here just because it's easier for explanation. We started this beacon. We move over to this beacon. This is our boss, and the boss is actually a jump. It's kind of a unique abstraction on the roguelite formula. You're not actually, like, you know, riding your bike around an enemy and shooting slingshots at, you know, their weak point or something like that. Instead, it's, if you survive this jump, then you move on to the next level, which is like the forest in this case. And the levels get increasingly difficult. But as you go, you get like an FTL-style choice where you can choose what you want to do. This is one that's for my race team, a race for the Team Kinetic right now. I don't know if you get more rep for that, but rep is this little system down here at the bottom. As you can see, I'm still in the novice division. I played this for like 2 hours so far, maybe 2.5, and I'm a little bit unfamiliar with some of the systems, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not totally sure if there actually are stats or anything like that. There's definitely parameters for the races. Like, some of the races, I wonder if I can get a clean landing like that. Nah, probably have to land on the track. Oh, careful. Some of the races are more focused on speed, some of them are more focused on stunts, and some of them are more focused on, you know, just staying upright, because if you ever fall over, unless it's after the fact, you lose HP there. By the way, I do want to point out, if you're getting any frame, or if you're noticing any frame dips, those are on my end. The game runs really smoothly, but it has a lot of detail in it, and I've cranked it down a little bit from ultra settings down to medium in the hopes that maybe the encoder will work a little bit better. But anything with particle effects and, you know, grass definitely fits the bill there, and things moving really, really quickly is going to cause some issues like that. So just know that the game runs fine, at least for me, but, oh, geez. On the computer's end, when it's encoding and playing it at the same time, it struggles a little bit, but that's okay. I think it's fine, because we played it on the stream, and it didn't seem to cause many issues, but I digress. We're just trying to play, like, a little conservatively right now, because, I want to keep my HP high so I can actually get to some of the later levels, but I will be a little aggressive there, and that was obviously just brain dead. But at least you can see the system of losing HP there. You can go off-road, by the way, if you're interested. It's going to slow you down, which might have an impact on your performance depending on what your ulterior goals are, but for right now, it's not really a big deal one way or the other. We're just worried about making it to the exit, and ideally doing 2 front flips in the interim period, which we barely managed to make that one work. That's okay. Can we get a little stunting going on? We got 2 points. I can live with it. Steep curvy or mellow straight? Give me a mellow straight. It's the kind of guy I think I am. I'm definitely not a steep curly, I'll tell you that much. When I go to the coffee shop, they say, what would you like? I'd say yes. No matter what you can give me, I'll be happy. So, actually, going off-road... Oh, we're going to die. Yeah, we didn't... We popped a little bit too much off that jump and caused ourselves some problems. On a run like this, sometimes you actually may want to go off-road to skip the jumps. And, like, our goal is finished within 30 seconds, and that's what gives us the bonus HP. So, to some extent, you might want to miss the jumps. Oh, I just Wario Stadiumed myself. And you might be able to do that and get lucky, but keep in mind you can't accelerate on the grass as easily as you can accelerate on the track. But you can also chart a much more, like, direct course to the end. But this is still going to fall short. I have never succeeded on these. I think if we hadn't messed up Wario Stadium jump, we might have been okay there, but that's okay. And here's our boss jump. So, I haven't really talked about what we were doing because I haven't really talked about what I feel about the game because I've been so focused on what we were doing. What's the general loop of Descenders? It's kind of like, and this has been used by other outlets, but it's kind of like Spelunky meets like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. But I think I disagree with that, and I'm talking to an audience that I know is pretty familiar with roguelites. If you watch me play a lot of Isaac or FTL or, Spelunky for that matter, Gungeon, even Slay the Spire kind of fits the bill. It's a little different because there's no, it lacks some of the hallmarks of the roguelite genre, which is both unique and also at the same time gives me a little bit of pause for recommending the game like full-heartedly or wholeheartedly. Please, oh, we're gonna hit the train. We have bailed, and we lost 2 No, we only lost 1. Okay, you can lose more HP if your jumps are worse. The thing is, you gotta like slow yourself down a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, your jump's gonna be too big, and then you just can't sustain yourself. What it lacks is kind of like incremental improvement in terms of the actual stats and parameters of your run. You can make it. You can make it. Let's go. We're going to have 1 HP for the next level. So, in Isaac, you finished the first floor, and maybe you took some hard falls, you took some damage, but you picked up a Tears upgrade, and you're like, yeah, maybe I'm in a pretty good spot. In this, there's no item rooms or anything like that, so you don't finish a run and, like, in your cabin you get an upgrade to your shocks and suspension so that you can survive a harder fall. It really does come down to, like, it's exclusively performative. Like, oh, God, I am dead for sure. Okay, we get a last stand, which is just, like, if we die again, we're done. Or if we bail again, we're dead. It sort of lacks that design space. It's 100% performative. And in that way, it's kind of similar to something... Oh, Lord. Don't say Dark Souls. It's kind of similar to something like Monster Hunter. Even though Monster Hunter obviously has stats for equipment and stuff like that, what I mean by that is really your performance is mostly going to be determined by your overall skill at the game. And in some ways that's good. Because it means that, you can... Ooh, excuse me. You can navigate and maneuver around like particularly difficult obstacles without being dependent on having a bike that has like the power to survive it. Basically, your bike always has the power to survive it as long as you land properly and have the proper speed and height and stuff like that. But it's also bad in some situations because you're like, well, I almost died on the first few levels. I'm probably not going to be able to make it work long term. The levels are procedurally generated, by the way, which is good and bad. We're dead. The bales are pretty sick, I'll give you that. I'm from a mountainous region. I'm allowed to say sick. We're going to start in the Highlands again, and we did, we got a loot box item there. Ether Caution Orange Jersey Long. Say that 5 times fast. They're procedurally generated, which is good and bad. It means that you never memorize a track. Some people are into that, some people aren't. I'm fine with it either way, but you never really memorize a track. I think there's elements that are stitched together during the loading screen, essentially, before the game starts. But it can sometimes lead to some obstacles that are really, really difficult to surmount in the early game, or, even situations where it's like, you don't quite have enough speed to realistically, get around this thing, or, you didn't have enough time to get enough air to do well here, or even some situations where it's just like, you had too much speed, like there was a downhill incline before a ramp, and then you have too much speed, so you're probably going to end up, taking a hard bail when you land. I'm trying to get near misses here, but it's not working out too well for me. I think it is key, especially in my, you know, relative lack of skill of the game, to try to get as much HP as possible on these early floors. So the roguelite formula, it kind of works and it kind of doesn't. In my opinion, at least. Do 2 backflips? I could do that yesterday, my dude. It kind of works and it kind of doesn't, if I'm being honest with you. It feels to me, and this is, I try to avoid these kinds of, you know, developer-focused criticisms because I'm not involved. Oh, Jesus. I'm not involved in the development of the game. So to say, like, it feels shoehorned in, see, it's like it taking a little bit of a leap of logic on my end. But it does sort of feel like they've got a good engine for, you know, the bicycling stuff feels really satisfying, and the tricks feel really satisfying. The system is very intuitive. It's just like, I mean, I'm using a controller. Dude, we are not going to get 2 backflips on this straight race. There is no question. I was incorrect. And my braggadocio makes me look very silly here. Mellow stunts, mellow curvy. Let's do mellow stunts. 2 near misses, stop it. The actual core gameplay loop is really, really satisfying. It's that meta roguelite layer over top where I'm like, it's interesting, and I think it gives you a little hook. It gives you like a selling point, but I'm not fully convinced that it has like a meaningful amount of staying power. But then again, that's kind of like, it's a show me moment, right? Like, it's in early access. Right now, it doesn't necessarily fit the bill, but maybe in the future it could. Okay, so we did get 2 near misses there. This is what I mean, by the way, by like when I say difficult obstacles. I can't imagine the processor's a big fan of this right now. Like, look at this. We got Stonehenge. We're going to come around, get a little acceleration. We're going to try to conquer Stonehenge. You do get rep for doing so. It's kind of neat how you can build your own path through the level. This one's actually not that... This one's actually not that bad. He said once he was sure that he was completely safe. But there's like a castle element that we can come across pretty early. That's horrible. Oh my god. Now we have to get 2 near misses again because I bailed. Didn't get enough speed off the jump. Alright, so just thread the needle. That's a near miss in my world, but... Look at that. Look at that. Okay, give me another one. Acceptable. Alright. So it is... Oh, there's the castle element right there. Can we even... No, we can't. There's no track to get to. I don't think we can mantle it. Anyway, we're moving on here. Yeah, so it's definitely got like a unique charm, and I don't think I'm doing a good job. It sounds like I'm being too negative, but really what I'm being is too high-minded. I'm focusing on the stuff that, you know, gives me pause. Ooh, that was bad. I'm focusing on the stuff that's like, well, my gamer brain says like, I don't know if this element really works, but the core gameplay loop is really, really satisfying. Like, when you get in the groove and you're actually just, like, dodging incoming obstacles as you're traveling as fast as you can, trying to accomplish the secondary objective while simultaneously, you know, not going too hard at it, because if you bail, you're in, you know, for a rude awakening. That stuff works really well. So even though I'm not a full believer in the overall concept... Oh, we've failed this miserably. Yep. Even though I'm not a full believer in the overall concept yet, there's a solid foundation here to work upon. I was a big fan of Action Henk as well when it came out. And this is kind of similar, but Action Henk was more of like I don't want to say it was Trials, but it was kind of Trials-esque. It was Trackmania, really. That's bad. It was like a multiplayer running game, but it was in essentially like 2D but with 3D environments. And really the hook of the game was managing the speed... Oh, no. The speed and the angle that you approach some jumps at in order to get the maximum, or the lowest possible time, the fastest possible time. And it had working online multiplayer and kind of existed in a unique space in the industry. I quite like that game. This definitely, like, it feels like an extension of that to some extent. Like, he's done it. King of the Castle, King of the Castle. Like, clearly they want to work on games that are fast, games that are kinetic. And, you know, the loop of these that's particularly fun is that it's not just about speed. There's our second 360 to get some HP back. It's also about the way that you land. Like, if you want to go... Oh, no! If you want to go as fast as possible, obviously you need to land in such a way that, like, you know, you're going downhill, essentially, when you land. So not all of your momentum is absorbed 90 degrees or even worse relative to the surface of the ground, and you can just continue your momentum heading downwards. So I'm gonna focus on just having fun and also trying to maximize our HP by the time we make it to the forest this time. So I don't even know if we should be doing this, but look at that. That's the perfect jump. And once this... We shouldn't have done a trick, but once this inevitably ends, and we die, as we often do... Let's see if we can get a little more speed going downhill here. Nope. We'll go take a look at the other stuff in the game. As of right now, it is a little like... bare bones is not the right word, because the fact that there's a good variety in the actual... the courses themselves is really nice. You know, the procedurally generated stuff, but also the elements of them. You know, they have different parameters like steepness, difficulty, whether it's straight or curvy, is it a race or is it a stunt, focus level, etc., etc. I was a little worried about that, but hey, we made it. Now, I've done 2 360s, but I don't think we should get cocky. Although we are going very, very quickly. This is good. Yeah, but it's I don't know, it sort of lacks like a more full-fledged career mode, at least is what it feels like right now, but maybe I'm asking for too much when we get there. Let's go curvy stunts. So far, so good. HP's looking all right. I at least want to make it to the 2nd level. I would love to make it to the 3rd, well, not the 3rd level, but it doesn't seem right to say, like, the 3rd world. I'd love to make it to the 3rd level, if possible. I'm just going to try to do this one without letting go of the acceleration. So I'm going to look a little cheesy here, but that's all right. I'm just going to hold down accelerate and take like the gentlest path down. Now we can do this on this world, but once we get to the forest, which is next, too many trees, too many rocks hiding in, you know, bushes and stuff like that. It's not as likely that we'd be able to succeed. And I haven't even seen the 3rd level, so it would be it's a whole new world, let's put it that way. Step 1, though, is definitely, like, don't lose all of your HP on the boss jump of this first world, and if we can complete that, I think we're going to be fine. Look at that. Okay, steep, curvy stunts, absolutely. Let's take the hardest that we can possibly get. I want to get that rep going. Another thing they've done really well is sound design. I think the bikes sound nice. You know, as someone who's cycled regularly 2 summers ago, it sounds authentic, but even more than just being authentic, it sounds satisfying. You know, like, you ever play SSX or really any kind of, like, winter sports game is, wow. A good example here, I think. The sound of, like, the skis or the snowboard carving into the snow is, like, one of the big draws for me. It's almost, like, meditative. This has kind of the same thing when the tires start spinning. The chain doesn't have any tension in it. It sounds really nice. Hey, be careful. Oh lord, you can let go of the acceleration this time. Near miss. Let's go. And the music is fine. It's not my cup of tea, but it is like it's licensed music. Is it? Bruno Mars, Snoop Dogg, blah, blah, blah? No. Is it the Replacements and, I don't know, Joy Division and Guided by Voices? No. It's got its own kind of, like, electronica, pseudo sort of high-energy, up-tempo vibe. That's not necessarily my thing, but clearly, like, an effort was made. It's not like it's royalty-free beats going on in the background, which is why I had to take them out of the video, how ironically enough. I might be able to hit a top speed of 65, but we should probably just focus on, like, getting to the boss jump using the track. Get to 56. 58? Nah. Okay, let's get back on the track. And as we go down here, I think we should slow... Oh, we got there. Slow down, slow down. Whoa. This is, like, actually as close to perfect as I think I've ever done it. We're gonna have 8 HP for the forest. We got a real chance. So this one, finish without letting go of the acceleration, no promises. I think I'm gonna let go of the acceleration. I think I'm gonna stick to the trail, which as we've seen is unnecessary. And I'm gonna try to take, like, the gentlest way down. And again, like, I think that's kind of where on a meta level, I don't want to say it suffers, but I don't necessarily get the hook yet. I think it's pretty clear the reward of going faster is that you can get more HP, so there is some risk reward there. And you probably get more reputation as well. But I haven't found like necessarily a useful sink for the reputation that makes me really feel compelled to get it. It's just kind of like a number that's like, yeah, I've done more events, so my reputation has gone up. So really in this situation, it kind of feels like in a way I have to keep myself honest. Like if my main goal is having fun instead of just beating the game, then I want to go relatively quickly. But if my main goal is just beating the game, at least for now, it's kind of relatively easy to just take it as slow as possible. So I think that, ooh, that was a little dangerous. I think from a design standpoint, there's like a little, there's a little bit of like tugging there that I don't necessarily think works. But it's because of the roguelite layer. And again, you can, it gets points for uniqueness and novelty to begin with, but then, you know, one of the things about roguelites is, you want them to be enduring. You know, you want to be able to play a lot of them. I'm not going to say hundreds of hours, because I think that's unfair. Please, please, please. We've done it. But still. Yeah, that was bad. 4 near misses? I wonder if we can actually do that. See, now I'm contravening my own point, because I'm, like, now intrinsically motivated to do the goals, because I have respect for myself as a gamer. That's a near miss in my world. Okay, now slow down. Where is the trail? There it is. Oh, we might actually make it here. Lucky us, dude. I'm feeling great about this so far. Mellow straight, don't mind if I do. So yeah, Descenders. I think I got a couple of like cliff notes. I do think it's a little pricey for its current state. But it's also in a unique sort of spot in the market, isn't it? Where it's one of the only games that, at least that I'm aware of, that kind of, you know, fits the... That's gonna kill me. Oh my god, we lived. It's one of the only games that really kind of captures this niche, right? That guy is definitely dead. And then it's got a cool kind of like roguelite layer on top of it that I'm not totally convinced by. But still, like, I gotta admit, you have my attention. I do not care about hitting a top speed of 70 here. Please. So I'm not 100% convinced yet. But I do like playing it. Oh. I mean, we should just go around it, but what kind of person would I be? What would former child Ryan say if I ignored a loop-de-loop in an extreme sports mountain biking game? He just wouldn't be able to look at himself the same, because he would know what he turned into. So yeah, I'm giving it a thumbs up. There's a thumbs up, and then next to the thumb, there's a little asterisk, and the asterisk is like, you know, see me in my office in like 6 months. I'm eager to see what happens with the roguelite layer. I'm eager to see what happens, you know, as development gets further along. There's a coming soon section. There is there's a daily challenge section, but I should not have tried to thread that needle. I'm not sure if there's if that's actually in the game yet, or if the option is just in, because it's been grayed out for me every time so far. So, I don't know, maybe they just hate Canadians, and they don't recognize our days as real days. Come on. I mean, it's me being stupid here. Stop doing a backflip here and just land safely. It's no surprise to me. I am my own worst enemy. I keep, if I just wanted to survive, I think I would play better. I'm not saying like, oh, I could win, I don't want to. I just manage to self-sabotage myself so much of the time here, because I'm like, hey, it's a ramp. It's not worth it to just go over it. You gotta do a backflip over it. Whoa. Nah, we could, okay. This is my favorite element right here. If you can go, whoop, whoop. Pretty lucky. And dude, there's like some actual genuine tension going on here as well. We didn't get 2 clean landings. If you don't bail at the end, by the way, you're a baby. You're a baby who likes having non-broken bones. And I don't know if I can respect that. Skirt. I haven't even used like the carve feature at all. I also don't know if I've ever seen the boss jump on this level, so this is gonna be, you know, there's a first time for everything. Want to have a decent... Oh, I have. You go over an enormous kind of like Firewatch tower. Stay on the trail, roughly. You know this is probably going to be it right here.
Yeah.
This looks good. No. Oh, we were so close. Okay. Three lives left. If we survive the boss jump, we get 1 HP. So we want to pop at the top using the right stick here.
Whoa.
I guess you could land it like that. Okay, we're going to the 3rd level for the first time ever. How exciting. Now, we do unlock, as you can see, Spelunky style. We unlock shortcuts that we can use to get to these levels without having to play the levels preceding them. And it kind of feels like, why wouldn't you? Like in Spelunky, you don't want to do it because you miss so many opportunities to, you know, on the easy levels to get stronger. But you don't really get stronger, you just get more HP here. And that's, again, I'm not going to say that it's a problem with the game, because it could just be a problem with my ignorance with it. You know, maybe I don't realize the value of having so much more HP. That was pretty bad. I mean, clearly on this one, having more HP probably saved us, right? Just gonna bypass that jump. Seemed a little dangerous. Do 1 double backflip. Okay. Well, give me a ramp. I see one. That was a double backflip. I know we didn't land it, but it was a double backflip nonetheless. That was a stupid decision. Okay, we got 1 HP. Just be smart. Maybe we can make it to the boss jump at this level if we play our cards right. Just take this one slow. Do a little, yeah, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. There's still a chance to get a double backflip. Just do it off a more traditional ramp. Yeah, like this one. Okay, I bailed out. I lost confidence at the last second. You know what? If it doesn't feel right, we probably shouldn't do it, right? Am I even going the right direction anymore? I feel like I'm going up now. This is probably the end, isn't it? Yeah. Alright. Didn't do a double backflip. Give me a mellow race. I want to keep ourselves alive here. And this is really what it comes down to. After getting away all the intellectual, pseudo-intellectual, let's be fair, kind of hubbub, it's just fun. It really does end up being fun. Whether or not it's 25 bucks worth of fun is going to come down to more personal preference. Finish without breaking. Well, that doesn't mean we can't lay off the acceleration. You know what? No. I do not wish to do that. One thing, and you know that it's going to come up. Don't shoot the messenger. People would lose their minds for like an actual simultaneous online multiplayer mode. I haven't heard anything about it existing. I'm going to assume that that means it's not going to. No. Yeah, just land with all your weight on the front tire. That seems intelligent. I'm going to assume that that means that it's not going to happen. But you gotta know. People are going to ask. What is this sign? That's not going to work. It worked. Pardon me. Still getting over a little illness here. I must have tapped the brakes. Or when I died, it made it impossible. Okay, here we go. Do a 360 2 times. I can do this. A 360 is just a backflip to your right. I've always said that. It's our last stand, so for us to generate some more HP off of this would be good. Now, I'm not doing that element with no HP. I've never done that element before. It doesn't seem like the right time to do this element. He's a god. The environments do a really good job of being varied, is what I'm noticing right now as well. Like, the Highlands have their own unique parts, and it seems like the forest does as well, with those, like, teeny little bridges, and then the kind of sidewinding bridges as well. We're not gonna land this, my dude. I wish you would have, but I understand. You did a good job. You tried. We got an uncommon shirt. Hey. So here's the other stuff you got going on here. I mean, these other areas here are essentially all from the tutorial. It's kind of cool that they're set up in like a hub world. It reminds me a little bit of SSX3. But, you know, what you see is what you get. That's the end of our ramp tutorial. What we can do So we putter around here, head into the shed. And you can see we got new bikes, but the bikes don't have stats associated with them. So we got like all sorts of, you know, helmets and stuff like that. Goggles, all sorts of cosmetic stuff. But the cosmetic stuff, you know, I don't really care. It doesn't, I don't mean that to sound rude, but it's just not the sort of thing that actually matters to me in a game like this. So, yeah, we can have our Steam name on our back. It says Isaac Baby. That's who I am. If you got a problem, fight me. Look, oh, did I call it a 1280 bail flip? I don't know what happens when you go inside of the Chipotle shed. But yeah, this is Descenders. Hopefully the video held up relatively well, and beyond this, I think this game is good. I hope it finds its way, but, you know, not all those who wander are lost, is what I've heard. This dude has just been obliterated from the planet. And you know what? That's a great frame to end it on. Not all those who wander are lost, but this guy is definitely dead. Either way, Descenders is available on Steam, 28 Canadian. I'm assuming that's 25 American. I did get a review copy here. It has some unifying to do, I think. Moreover, it needs more, in my opinion. There are leaderboards, and you can see, how are we doing here? Well, I'm clearly the best person out of anybody that's ever played this game. How about achievements? No, you can't see what's happening there. That just opened up a little window for me. And then, community advanced tips. These are like things that basically open browser windows and tell you what's gonna come soon. But there is no daily challenge. Not yet, anyway. Maybe I have to be in a different spot for it. That's basically it. I would like to see more features. I would love to see online, but I think that's, you know, they never said it was gonna come. That's wishful thinking. But even as is, I like it. It's kind of a meditative game to play, and it's the kind of thing you can just pop on, play for a couple of hours, and just, you know, feel good about the way that you spent your time. That being said, I'm not 100% a believer in the roguelite side of the game yet, but, you know, they could convince me, I think. And the core gameplay loop is satisfying enough that I would like them to. For now, though, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. You can pick up Descenders on Steam. It'll be linked in the video description below. It's not a sponsored video. I did receive a review code, but, you know, if you like the game, support the developers. For now, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more in the future, and I'll see you next time.